1.
Welcome to this week's edition of the mma-analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel. We had some fights last week. We got some fights to talk about this week. Sean got married. Brad's still digging the short hair. All is well. Sean, how was the wedding? You feel good? Feel sad? What do you got?
It was amazing, and clearly I have stopped giving a fuck. Didn't take long after I got married because just trashing it up and just letting it all go. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good look for you.
You look really poor right now.
That's the look I'm going for. I don't have to keep up appearances anymore.
Like if I was
win some bets.
If I was to walk into your house, I would expect to see bags of black water just spread out across your house, ash everywhere. I would expect it to look like that.
Could I offer you some saran wrapped wine?
Ooh.
Dude, I got these sweet tickets off my printer.
What a good Photoshop job I did, guys.
What a sad human being. Yeah. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well. Finally got the new deck all finished in the backyard. That project took way longer than it should have.
Yeah.
But it's done now, so probably start recording out there again, although it's just about dark here, so who knows how that'll work.
It's crazy. I've been watching like some of the Scottish Open pre-coverage and all that stuff in St. Andrews, and they can play golf there until like almost 11 p.m.
Yeah, back when I lived up in Sudbury, which was 5 hours north of where I am now, it would be light out until 10:30. It was pretty awesome.
That's what I live. That's what I live. And then it's dark at 4:30 p.m. in the winter.
Yeah, that part's not great.
That's I mean, here it gets, because we're in Central Time Zone, but it's pretty close to, we're not too far from the border. Like if you drive an hour and a half each way, it goes to Eastern Time Zone, so we're pretty close. Yeah. And like it'll start getting dark in the winter here, 4:15, 4:30.
Terrible.
Like when I was driving home from work, it'd be like 4:45, pitch black.
Yep.
Which is depressing in a way.
Yeah. That always reminds me of wrestling in high school, because like I would be done wrestling practice. Our wrestling season was over the winter, because that's just when we do it. And I would get out of practice and go wait for the bus, and it would be dark out, and I'd be like, man, this is my life. This is sad.
Yeah, ours is like that too. We did, because ours goes through the winter, through like after, like I think it ends, if I recall, first week of February it ends, but it goes from like September to February. And yeah, we get out at 6, it'd be pitch black. I'd go home, I'd black out. I would attempt to do it the next day. Like it was wild. Like just trying to survive is the life of a wrestler. All right. So we can talk about last week's fights and then get into this week's fights. I will not be on the show next week, FYI, because I'll be out of town, and I can't watch the fights because of the timing. That sucks. They're both early cards while I'm going to be in the car. That's just depressing. Not good. I don't like it.
You've got PVR. You'll not watch it eventually and then delete it off the PVR.
Well, I think that I watch fight. If I know the results of a fight, it's hard for me to care. Like I can barely watch stuff tape delays. I know some people will like not know the results, but then try to like okay, I'm going to sit down and watch the fights now. I don't know the results. Even when I do that, I'm just like I'm fast forwarding so much. I'm skipping. I just can't get in the flow. There's no feel when you're doing it that way. Like I don't know. I don't like it. So I'll probably listen to the fight, or Evan's coming to the beach with us too. So I might have Evan just like hold put his phone in the fights and hold it, and then just kind of give me play-by-play. I think would be a fair way to do it. And then in the way back, the London card, I think that actually starts around the same time too, if not even earlier. Which that card's great, so that's sad. Except for the main event, it's okay.
I'm torn about
the exact
same time.
Yeah, I'm torn about these early cards during the summer because like I want to be outside doing stuff.
So. No, I don't want to do that. But I do, not when I'm traveling. That's not my favorite. But it is golf season. They should think twice. But like, I'm not going to be able to watch Paul Craig. I mean, well, also,
Ooh, we
I don't
might
know
have to
him.
fade him.
I don't get the thing with Paul Craig. So he was in the prelims last card when he was one of the best fights in the card. He's been the hottest guy. Now he's the curtain jerker, and the fight after him is Hannah Goldie. Like, what are they doing?
Do you not figure this out?
That
They're
can't be real.
anti-Semitic, Lance.
That's gotta be it. Like after he submits Vulcan in 15 seconds, it's like how many guys does this guy have to murder before he gets a step up?
He's gonna get a title shot that's on the prelims.
You could actually say he's probably taken a step down his last 3 fights. I would say Jamal Hill is better than Krylov, who's better than Vulcan.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing with him. It's pretty dumb.
Like, who's he fighting next? Sam Alvey?
Yep.
I hope
Is
so.
Alvey back? I thought he's fighting again.
Retirement fight.
What if he's, you know what's happening? He's gonna win and get like a 4-fight contract extension.
Hell yeah.
He's making that big money. Too good. All right, well, let's talk about last week's card. We'll work through the prelims and get to the main card. I have not been on a very good MMA run lately. I was telling the guys I'm on the hottest golf run of my entire life. Won 4 of the last 5 weeks with some big numbers. And then MMA, not great. So hopefully we can turn around this card. But let's start from last week's card. Bantamweight division, some guy I can't pronounce defeated Ronnie Lawrence. Finance decision. This was just a fucking beatdown. This was bell to bell. I was shocked at how easy he was able to out-grapple Ronnie Lawrence. I don't know if Brad or Sean, you guys had anything on this fight, but I was way the fuck off on Ronnie Lawrence on this one.
It's weird to see a guy that is a takedown artist just get dominated like that. Like,
easily.
Yeah, there's levels.
Yeah, like I thought like we got to get this fight to the ground because Ronnie Lawrence is obviously a bit shaky in the feet. And then I was like, oh my God, like we can't even stay on the feet. Like the guy's takedowns were really good. He did nothing at the end of the fight,
With them.
which I didn't love, but everyone was complaining about him a little bit. I thought he was actually really active the first couple rounds on the ground. I thought he was throwing a lot. I thought he was, he could have been a little more, but I thought he was decently aggressive. And he's gonna be a tough guy to beat with that grappling and top control.
What do you mean you can't pronounce his name though, Lance? This is Kakhramonov.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kakhramonov?
Yeah.
That sounds right. Said Yakub Kakhramonov.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. Light heavyweight division. Kenny Nunchuck defeated Carl Robertson. TKO, 3rd round, 219. I had the under in this one. So as bad as my run's going, I won this fucking under.
There you go.
By 10 seconds.
11 seconds.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I'm watching this fight, and so Nunchucks could have finished this fight whenever he felt like. He was like, you know what? I'm going to just keep for the next 10 minutes this one hook rear naked choke. I'm just going to keep trying it over and over again. I'm not going to hit him. I'm just going to keep trying. He was on the side with one hook, and all he did is kept going like this, hold it for 10 seconds, then let go. And I was like, you can literally finish him whenever you please. Like Robertson, if you're on top of him, you hit him a couple times, he's done. Like that's it. And he finally put it together. And I won this bet, and I'm thinking, because it got me close to right back even. I'm thinking like, that was the turning point in this bad run. It was not. It was not the turning point. It wasn't. Nunchuck still.
Can you name a fighter that Carl Robertson wouldn't make look like an ADCC champ?
No.
Because
He's so
wow.
bad.
He is. He got cut today, so RIP.
Yeah. Is mediocre jiu-jitsu ruining the UFC? Like you're good enough at jiu-jitsu to like get position, but not good enough to finish anything. I think that is.
I think if you're strong and you get taught positions where it's hard for guys to get up, like there's a reason like he was staying in certain positions because it left Robertson like no chance to get up. But we've seen this a lot. Like if you can get a takedown and you can just stall your way out, then you're fine. Throw a little punch here and there, like Nunchucks can't wrestle and doesn't know jiu-jitsu at all. Like that was very evident by what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like he has never trained jiu-jitsu. He trained top control. is what he trained. But yeah, I mean, I think it is.
Even these guys that are allegedly high-level black belts can't get finishes anymore. They get the back and they just sit there.
It's awful.
It's horrible.
They don't take chances to go for a little lower, percentage shit. So then they just use their positional jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. I mean, gone are the days where people are diving for guillotines, transitioning to an arm bar when they're dominant position, things like that. Like there's very
Glover
few
did
guys.
it. That's why Glover's the GOAT.
Well, the one guy
Might not be the champ anymore, but he's the GOAT.
Well, most guys now are just their position over submission, and that's just what it is. Like there's
Except Dubrox, who's
Dubrox.
also the GOAT.
One guy.
Well, if you're really that high level, right? If you're a great grappler, you're a great jiu-jitsu guy, you have good wrestling and all that, you should always go submission over position. Because, all right, let's say Dubrox goes for an arm bar or does something crazy. Worst case scenario, okay, now he's on his back. You're still fucked, right? Let's say the fight gets back in the feet. Okay, I'll take you down again. Like, I think the guys that are not going for submissions are scared to end up underneath, or they're scared they can't take them down again. So they're just like steal the round, and then we'll see what happens. And it's just not entertaining.
I don't think there's many people that have the jiu-jitsu bottom game of the Bronx, to be fair. So
correct, yes, but I think unless all women's MMA does, just throw an arm
we
bar.
know.
You're probably good, but I mean, you can't move up and get to a certain level in the UFC without getting finishes. You're like, that's the weird thing about a guy like Paul Craig, which you're talking about, like where he for some reason can't get elevated as high as he's beer juice here, by the way. He can't get elevated in cards and where he should. Like this should be a guy that's main eventing. Like his personality, his style. He finishes his fight. Like it doesn't make sense in that. But then you got a guy like this Carl Baralo, whatever his fucking name is, who doesn't do shit. And he's a co-main event. It's wild.
Yeah. UFC's knows what they're doing.
It's really wild. I mean, you got Hannah Goldie, Molly McCann ahead of Bearju on the card. And like Bearju's like
Meatball Molly.
Yeah,
She's a star. She's the champ. She had the belts after the last fight.
Bearju's legit top 5 in the division at this point.
Yeah, like, pretty close.
Come on now. Anyway, all right, let's move on here. Featherweight, David Onama defeated Garrett Armfield. Whatever.
I didn't see this one, but I had the over 1.5. So cashed that by 43 seconds.
Jesus.
Nice.
Some close totals on Saturday.
Yeah, I lost one by 30 seconds on the later in the card.
What was the one a couple weeks back that hit exactly?
It pushed?
I remember that. I don't remember what fight it was, though.
Can't remember what it was.
I think that might have been a PFL fight, or was that UFC?
It was PFL, I think.
I think it was,
yeah.
It was. I don't remember which one it was, though. All right. Antonio Shevchenko defeated Courtney Casey. I did not watch. Nope. So I'm to the point now, I don't even look at the screen during a lot of these women's fights. Like, I literally did not look at the screen. I had a baseball game on. I was watching the baseball game. I think I was probably fucking around TikTok, just watching some talks. And then I didn't see a second. And then I looked up, and everyone on Twitter had said that Shevchenko clearly lost the fight, and then she won a split decision. I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
At the dog.
I assume there was some grunting.
Shot.
There's probably some yelling from the corners. Yeah.
Yep.
Bad. Middleweight division. Cody Brundage defeated Tyson Gore. Knockout first round. Got this one right. I had Brundage plus 125. I was marking this bet fucking dead. He got the early takedown. Nothing happened. He's in the feet. He looks like he just runs 17 marathons in a row. He's getting pieced up a little bit, and then just absolutely floors him out of nowhere. Gore he's all looks, right? I made the comment that he's Czech Congo. People like him and think he's good because he looks like he should be. He's actually not very good. Like he's a big fucking dude, and he looks strong, and he's very athletic. He sucks. He just sucks. And Brundage, who has horrible striking, clean knockout. Pretty awesome.
That guy's pulled some shit out in his last couple of fights that I did not expect. That's for sure.
He's fun. He's like the bad type of fighter that is extremely fun to watch because he's bad enough.
I love it. I mean, he got thick willy, and he's still fighting. Most guys who get thick willy just walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, they need to get some stuff stitched back together, and don't know how to walk again.
A lot of bleeding. All right, lightweight division. This one I lost. I had doesn't go, but whatever. Jamie Malarkey defeated Michael Johnson. Split decision. Did not agree with this decision.
Nobody did.
I don't think most people did.
It was bad. I know, like, we throw the robbery term around. I don't know what classifies a robbery per se. I will say this. One guy clearly won. Everyone I saw scored it. I know when people think robbery, they think it has to be like, oh, like Diego Sanchez versus Pearson or whatever. Like, that's a robbery. I'm like, okay, but let's say 100 people watch a fight. 95 of those people said Michael Johnson won. It can be close, right? If they all go 95% Michael Johnson won, it was close though. Still a robbery. If 95% of the people say this guy won, but 2 of the 3 people say this guy won. So 66% on this side and 5% on this side. That is a robbery. I didn't have money on Michael Johnson here. I like Michael Johnson as a fighter. I wanted him to win, but I didn't have any betting. It didn't matter. I just thought that was fucking disgusting. And we got to stop giving them, oh, it's not a robbery, though. It was close. It was clear. That was a very easy fight to score, in my opinion.
But the scoring criteria.
The UFC, wow, the commissions seem to find these outliers really easily. They're the 5%ers, I guess, eh?
Who was it on this one?
Something called Anthony Maness. I don't know if he's related to Nate Maness, and then of course Derek Cleary.
I just didn't. I don't know. Like I didn't look at MMA Decisions. I'm sure you guys are on it now. But
I'm looking right now. Yeah.
I didn't see. I saw almost nobody that were picking that thought Mudaerji won that fight. I think most people said the first was close, but everyone had Michael Johnson.
It's like
16-4 for
or 16-4
for Johnson on there. So 80%.
80%, and even that's probably low.
That's a robbery. We gotta stop saying it's not a robbery when it is. If 80% of people say this guy won the fight, and then on the other side, 2 of these 3 morons are saying the other guy won, like that is a bad decision. That is a robbery, whatever you want to call it. And this wasn't one of those like control versus criteria and damage and wrestling. This was, I assume, judges closing their eyes for a few minutes in the first round. That's the only thing I can think of. The second and third, obviously, no questions whatsoever. But I don't get it. I don't know how you can watch that first round and go, that was Mudaerji, because he caught him with 1 punch with 15 seconds left. He won the fight. But
got kind of dropped earlier in the round.
Absolutely, he got face planted earlier.
Like maybe if Michael Johnson didn't have that big moment early on, but he did have that moment. If it was something where it was like Michael Johnson was winning, but nothing big happened, then he gets dropped at the end, sure. Johnson was just as close, if not closer, to finishing the fight and hurting him as Mudaerji. So then, okay, let's call those even. Michael Johnson won almost all of the striking exchanges in the first round. So I just don't, at this point, understand what we're looking at.
You're not smoking the right shit.
And then
judges are always going to be bad.
What's that fat kid's name that everyone talks about that's judging?
Sean
Sheehan. Yeah. There. So he's the expert, right? He scored that 29-27, Mr. Expert. 29-27 Mudaerji. That was his score.
What?
Yeah, expert.
He needs to lay off the potato stew a little bit, I think.
That's a lot of potatoes.
Well, he's Irish, right? We got nothing else to. They don't have anything else.
How do you get 29-27? So
that's terrible.
They're giving Mudaerji a 10-8 in the second, I guess. I mean, it was like he did outstrike him, but
Johnson beat the piss out of him in the third.
I know. So.
I'm a 10-8 guy. I'm a big 10-8 guy. 29-27 Mudaerji. So he gave the first to Mudaerji, and then So he had 10-8 Mudaerji and then 10-8 in the second. So he watched 10 minutes of that fight and said, "Yes, this is the correct score. I read this 415-page nerd book, and this is what I came up with."
That's correct, Lance.
Yikes!
Yeah. Brutal, absolutely brutal. Anyway, I felt for Michael Johnson. I did. I felt for the guy. Bullshit decision. Fucking 10-8 second. Really?
That's bad. Like
that's
I don't care how much you claim you have taken judging courses and read the criteria and all that bullshit. Like, fights are generally easy to score.
Yes.
It's not complicated.
And no one complains when they're not easy to score. But like, I would say for the most part, let's say I have 10 buddies, like you guys, like Aaron, Dan, like some of the other guys we all talk to. And I would say 95% of the time, we all score the fights the same way. Maybe if there's a close round here or there, we have
super close.
If Wes has a bet on it, he'll score it the other way. But other than that, we're pretty consistent.
Well, you only count Wes's if he doesn't have a bet on it, obviously.
That, which is barely ever happens.
Always have the same winner. So why is it so hard for these trained professionals? Maybe they're caught up in the nerdum, like Sean Sheehan. 10-8 seconds. Give me a break, dude. And I think with his stuff, like I've seen him score some rounds where it's like a guy was on top for 4.5 minutes. It wasn't crazy, but he was landing ground and pound. He controlled it the whole time. Maybe he passed once, landed some punches, and he'll be like, the guy on top did no damage, so I'm giving it to the guy on bottom, or the guy on bottom. The guy that was just laying there, that's who you're giving it to? The criteria doesn't say if you're on top but don't land big enough shots, the guy doing nothing gets it. I'm pretty sure I didn't read that. Like, you just try to be different. And I don't like that. Plus, fat people. I don't like fat people. How can you respect them? They don't respect themselves. And it's a gland issue. Give me a fucking break. Fat people, man. Swear to God. Just no self-respect.
Lance back to Renton. Love it.
Anyway, this fight, I stopped watching like 2 minutes and it was so bad. The Hobby defeated Tercio. Tercio sucks. I don't know what the fuck was happening. That fight sucked.
Yeah, that was one of the worst fights I've seen because the guy that was winning doesn't throw any punches, and the guy that was losing was throwing the worst punches I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a pretty good fight. Like Jourdain said, also, if damage mattered, look at the two dudes after the fight. Like, Michael Johnson had a scratch on him. Like, Mudaerji looked like he had been in a pretty bad fight. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, the criteria stuff it's so bad. So bad. Anyway.
Canadian
It's
pound
never
for
gonna
pound
get better.
number 6 or what?
What?
He's creeping up. He's creeping up for sure.
The Hobby?
Yeah.
What a sad country for fighting you guys live in.
It's bad.
All right.
Very bad.
Heavyweight, Chase Sherman defeated Jared Vandera, knockout, 3rd round. I had the under here. Didn't hit it. Should have hit it. Didn't. Not hit it.
There were so many times in this fight where Sherman wanted to quit, like he always does. And Vandera was just like, no, I'm going to let you stay in it. I'm going to do exactly what you want to do in this fight instead of putting any pressure on you or clinching you, not trying to take you down. What an idiot.
This might go down as one of the worst game plans I've ever seen. Sherman's only chance of beating you is if you strike at range with him. That's it. He's long and dumb, but a heavyweight, he's fast enough he can land punches. If you even touch him and clinch him, he's going to be on the mat instantly. And then he literally has no idea what he's doing. So Vandera literally doesn't shoot a takedown the entire fight.
Yep. He got terrified after what he did with Alexei Oleinik. We got to remember the fight IQ on this person.
He shoots out Oleinik and then throws hands with Sherman. Good for Sherman. I like this kid. I'm happy that he won though.
Chase Sherman getting a knockout in round 3. Our boy Aaron Watershow is onto something. USADA's on summer vacation right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way this dude has cardio after the 6-minute mark of a normal fight.
Well, usually his cardio is bad because people push him and grapple him and wrestle him. Vandera just circled and threw little punches here and there. Like, very weird game plan. All right. Let's see. Bantamweight, Said Nurmagomedov defeated Douglas Silva de Andrade. I took a shot at the inside plus 500 here. I had to. I like the fade Russians getting knocked out. I know it was like the scorecards didn't seem like it was close. There's a 30-27 there, which was obnoxious. You could have made an argument here for De Andrade actually taking this one. That second round was not a blowout round. I scored it for Nurmagomedov, but like this fight was a lot closer than I think people expected.
it was competitive. I thought it was going to be competitive, but I think the best point made by this or on this fight was by other Aaron, who said we fucked up by not doing a Saeed bet parlay between this Saeed and the first Saeed, because that was some money in the pocket.
Oh, Aaron's in the chat room. He said, "I'm in Cabo right now, and I saw USADA at the bar."
I believe it.
There you go. There you go. Even the non-boring Russians, such as this guy, he's throwing spinning shit and all this stuff. Even with that style, he still finds a way to be boring.
Let's find a way. They usually find a way.
I give this guy, like, there's too much spinning shit going on, but he's all right. I mean, he stopped Cody. We were on Cody Saman when they fought last time.
Yeah.
And he stopped him in like a minute. So got to give him a little bit of credit.
I don't think so. All right, come in.
He's not related to Khabib, so
True.
That's a plus in my book.
Yeah. Yep.
Middleweight, Kyle Barala defeated Armin Petrosian's decision. Awful fight, every second of it.
Algeo is right.
Why is he a co-main? I don't get
People were trying to hype him up a little bit before this fight.
Oh, he's gonna win some fights, but man,
yeah, it's just gonna be punch yourself in the dick fun while it happens.
Yeah.
Why didn't Petrosian try and defend takedowns before the third round? Because when he defended takedowns, he did a lot better.
He did. I think also big Brazilian man might have been a little bit more tired in the third round because there's not a lot of technique behind that man's wrestling. It's more like man, run, tackle. Like that's kind of like his style. Like I don't even know if they were takedowns as much as tackles.
Yeah.
So I think with his style and his wrestling, I think if that guy gets tired, he has no wrestling whatsoever.
Hard to tell, especially when there's no attempt to defend the takedown as well.
True. Hey, Ted. Teddy says hi. Sean got married, Ted. What do you think? Yeah? Is that cool? All right. What are you looking at? Get away from me. All right. Main event, Rafael Fiziev versus Rafael dos Anjos. Better than expected, I would say, from the Fizzy Pop. Good takedown defense, extraordinary takedown defense. I think you're gonna have to strike with this guy. A little more patience in that fight. I wish he went a little more crazy like he used to, but
I think he was holding back because he was worried about gassing a bit. I mean, he was kind of sprinting. Every once in a while, he'd flurry with some big power, and when it landed, you could tell. But I think he was a bit worried about if this went deep. It was a fairly competitive fight until it kind of. I mean, you give the edge to Fiziev. It was just. I think the difference was just the power, and when he threw the flurries, they landed on RDA. Kind of in the lulls, it was close. What's that?
It was.
The first 3 rounds were not remotely competitive.
The third round was definitely competitive.
Yeah,
RDA was landing. RDA was landing shots through the whole fight.
So it got stopped in the 5th round, right?
Yeah.
The 4th round was the RDA round. The 3rd round was a little bit more competitive, but I thought Fizzy Pop still won it. Pretty.
Yeah, no, it was the second that I thought was close.
Yeah, that wasn't close. No, the first and second weren't close at all.
The third was close, yeah.
The third was the closer one, but I thought it was clear. I mean, he was down 3 rounds, and then he won the 4th, and it wasn't dominating.
He was winning. I was just saying that it was more competitive during the lulls than what I expected. But I mean, that's impressive to put RDA out, period, and then that late in a fight.
Yep,
that's fucking good, man. Lightweight's wild right now.
I thought Fizzy was starting to get a little tired in the 4th round, or not a little tired. Thought he was starting to get a lot tired in the 4th round, and I had an RDA sub round 5 ticket at plus 8,000. That I was like, oh, baby. And then 15 seconds into the round, just no, absolutely not.
So close. Yeah, I was thinking because the 3rd round was close-ish. I thought it was. I didn't think he won it, but I was like, maybe judges would give it to him. And I was like, well, the 4th round's definitely his. And I was like, maybe we get a bad card here. Fizzy's tired. let's get him down, but was not meant to be. The takedown defense was impressive because it wasn't like RDA was getting bad entries or taking bad shots. He
had
very
a bunch of good ones.
He does set up his takedowns very well. Fiziev just has insane takedown defense. Like
that whizzer that he hit in the third round was nuts.
Now, with all that said, Dubronx takes him down within 4 seconds of the fight, and he's tapping 5 seconds later. No one can stop that man's takedowns, but most guys, I think he can force him to the feet. And Dubronx would piece him up in the feet anyway if he felt like it. Depends on the day of the week.
And welcome to the show, Rob. Happy to have you.
Sorry. All right. Let's move on now to UFC on ABC, Ortega versus Yair Rodríguez. We'll start at the bottom of the card with the worst fight on the card. Women's strawweight division, Jessica Penne versus Emily Ducote. Not a Dukakis.
Oh,
not related.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I need to go cash out my bet.
Mm-hmm.
Take the dog and don't even think about it. Pass.
Who's the dog?
I think Penne is. Yes, Penne, plus 130. You pick her, you probably shouldn't bet this fight, and you move on.
You just fade the OnlyFans.
Don't they both?
I don't know
No.
who Emily Ducote is. Ducote. I've heard of her. I couldn't pick her out of the lineup. I assume she is not good looking. And that's as far as I got. I know Jessica Penne is confirmed OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So
we've got like the OnlyFans is the dog in a low-level women's MMA fight. So definitely stay away from a betting perspective. I think I'm probably going to pick a women's favorite, which means I'm going to get this fight wrong. Yeah. But Jessica Pasta is way past it.
And then Aaron, if you want to do the research on the back end on the Ducati OnlyFans, just to confirm or deny before people place their bets, I'm going to not bet Jessica Penne or Emily Ducote. I'm gonna pick not Jessica Penne and then move on from there. But no bet. All right, middleweight division, Dwight Grant, the German, Dustin Stoltzfus.
Is it German?
The German, Nushan.
Dwight Grant is not good.
No.
Stoltzfus is also not good. I guess the thing going for him is he has a much more difficult opponent. He's had much more difficult opponents in the UFC so far. Dwight Grant should not be a favorite to anybody, especially a guy who's probably going to be able to take him down a couple times. So picking Stoltzfus, but I ain't betting it.
Brad?
Yeah, Stoltzfus looked kind of all right against Meerkat. He was making that fight competitive in the grappling as well. Obviously, before that, he faced Vieira and Dukakis, so hasn't had an easy ride so far in the UFC. I think the biggest thing that kind of pushes me towards Stoltzfus in this one is that he's actually a middleweight. Dwight Grant is like a million years old, and he's a welterweight, and he wasn't a good welterweight, and now he's moving up, and he's going to be an even less good middleweight. So I kind of think that with Dwight Grant not throwing any punches ever, because he never throws punches, that Stoltzfus is going to do enough to take a decision here. I don't really see him getting a stoppage, but I guess it could be in the cards, but I'm going to take Stoltzfus.
Yeah, I like Stoltzfus a good bit here. Grant's 37 years old, going up to middleweight, got knocked out all the time, and now he's going up versus bigger, stronger dudes here. And I just don't think Dwight Grant's any good. Like, I don't think he's a very talented fighter. He's going to be undersized now. He has some power. I would say that's his one attribute, but it's kind of gone away a little bit. If there's going to be any grappling in this fight, I think it's going to be Stoltzfus, and I do think he can get this fight to the ground. Grant has absolutely no takedown defense and no idea what he's doing on bottom, and Stoltzfus actually has okay jiu-jitsu, and he can some guys. And I don't know. Dwight Grant is a favorite. I think you have to bet against him. The fact that he's moving up versus a a big dude. Stoltzfus is a big dude too. He is not a small middleweight. He is a big middleweight, and I think he's just going to be able to body him. I think as long as he keeps us close, clinches, works takedowns, doesn't just have a kickboxing match at distance, I think he dominates this fight. And we have in the first time, I think, in the history, we are picking a German from Munich.
The man from Munich is from Munich.
I'm wearing a Bear Jew shirt, and Munich is a German guy. So there's something going on. I'll do anything to get off this few-week streak I've been on, and MMA hasn't been great. So we're going to make Munich a German for the first time. And, Dustin Stoltzfus. All right, light heavyweight division, Dustin Jacoby, Unhung, New Sean.
Just a decent amount of money betting against Jacoby. For some reason, I just don't think he's good. I just don't think he's good, and he keeps fighting these guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, they can get him, they can get him down or clip that chin, and it just doesn't seem to be happening. I might as well waste some more money. Jacoby's kind of been fighting smaller guys recently. The Unhung one is going to be bigger than him. He's got some okay takedowns. We saw the wrangling of Thick Willie.
Doesn't count.
That didn't happen. That was sparring.
That was the Venom shorts. We've talked about it time after time. Doesn't count.
Really, the career ruiner moving to the Venom shorts for old Thick Willie. You can't just put a double Pringles can taped together in those little shorts.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
Only room for one snake in those shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Unhung one is going to get Jacoby down and rough him up on the ground. So I will be betting him. It looks like I should have bet him a little while ago. He could probably get like 130 not that long ago. He's getting closer to almost being minus money at this point. So I better jump in fairly soon.
Rob said, especially the backward Venom shorts, Vittori style. He might have died if he put those things on backwards. Like he might have literally died. Like the amount of blood it takes to kind of fill that bad boy up. Brad.
You know what? I cannot tell. Like if people didn't point out that Mudaerji was wearing the shorts backwards, I wouldn't have been able to tell at all because those things are hideous no matter what angle you look at them from. Jacoby has like kind of impressed. Like he's very inconsistent. But I'm seeing things out of him that are starting to impress me more in recent fights. And the biggest thing is that he can actually get back to his feet. His takedown defense still isn't great. It's a little bit better than it used to be back, in his first UFC run when he had zero grappling at all. But he's very good at working back to his feet. Saw that in the cute labia fight. We saw that a lot more in the Darren Stewart fight. I actually bet Darren Stewart in that one and instantly knew I was screwed when Jacoby was able to get back to his feet a couple times in a row. And I think that if the Unhung takes him down, he's going to be able to get back to his feet here. And this is a guy that lost a couple of rounds to Sam Alvey on the feet. So I cannot be confident in betting to Unhung here. If the line keeps moving and keeps getting tighter, if I can get Jacoby at plus money, I don't think that'll happen, but I might dip my toe in there and take a little Jacoby or maybe look at Jacoby by decision because I think the Unhung is pretty tough.
You got to throw the Alvey fight out. You got to throw it out, right? His next fight was Thick Willie. When you beat Thick Willie, you harness the dick. So what the Unhung did is the biggest gap in his life and in his fighting, he was able to harness and take control of the dick from Thick Willie. So from there, he beats Thick Willie. He wins his next fight very impressively. And this is just a new man. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, look at Nunchucks. Had nothing for Unhung, and I think he's harnessed the dick a little bit. He's got a substitute in there. So I think he's
harnessed good, block bad, little Happy Gilmore action.
He has a decent top game when he gets on top. If the striking's not working, I think he has the plan B. His grappling is okay. We saw in the Thick Willie, but he has got some good ground and pound. He can do some damage on top. And I think on the feet, if he keeps it close, working at the cage and works some takedowns, I think he can win this thing. So I like Unhung here. I've been decent in Jacoby fights. I've picked him. I think I've lost maybe once or so picking against him. I bet on him several times, but I just don't think this is a good matchup. I think the unhung is good. I do. I think he's pretty good. He harnessed the dick, and that's really all you need. All right, featherweight division. I forgot this fight was happening. Bill Algeo, Herbert Burns. Nushan, anything here?
I'm pretty low on Herbert Burns. I think he lost some money in some fights that he's won. I just don't think he's that good. He's pretty hittable. That being said, there is obviously a path in this fight. It's pretty obvious if he's able to grapple, which for the most part everybody can take down Bill Algeo. It's just whether he can do anything with it on the ground, because Algeo does get up, and when it's on the feet, he is throwing a shit ton of volume. So I think Burns is going to have to get him out of there, like get him down and get him out of there, because I don't think he can lay on him for 3 rounds. And when this is on the feet, Herbert Burns is going to get pieced up. So I think I'll pick Algeo. It's going to be annoying if he just gets grapple fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this was, Nigel said, Battle of the Billies. I forgot this was going to be Billy Q.
That would have been awesome.
He would have done
Those two guys?
really, really terrible things to Bill Algeo. Yeah. Really, really mean, terrible things.
I think that would have been very competitive.
It would not have. It would not have been competitive. All right, Brad, you got in this fight.
I've got Algeo, but he's probably going to lose the first round here. He's going to get taken down. It's a question of if he's going to keep on his back for that entire first round, or if he's going to work back to his feet. And man, if I had any faith that Bill Algeo could get a finish in a fight, I would be all over his round 3 prop in this one, because Herbert Burns is going to gas, just like we saw against Daniel Pineda. That was a wonderful one.
So much money on that one. That was a large wager.
Yeah, like he should be able to get a finish against Herbert Burns in round 2 or round 3, but I just haven't seen it out of him. He's never been able to finish anybody. So I think it's Algeo. It's going to be a little bit dicey, though, because his takedown defense is so bad, and he's liable to blow a round or 2 for that. And if USADA is on vacation and Herbert Burns has that magma, the Brazilian mountain yams going through the veins.
He's been out for 2 years.
Maybe he's got a little bit more cardio than normal.
Yeah. Is it Algeo, or how are you guys saying? Algeo?
Algeo?
That's not right. There's no way that's right. It's got to be Algeo.
Bill Algae Crumpler. There you go.
Algeo. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I agree with the sentiments of both you guys. I think Burns wrestling is not very good, but the good thing for him is it doesn't need to be. Old Billy can't wrestle. He can't wrestle at all. He's going to get taken down, and I do think it depends on the gas tank of Herbert Burns. There's a chance he could get on top, hold him down for a round, and maybe get another takedown early in round 2, hold him down for a bit, where it could be kind of a coin flip if it gets to the cards, depending on how long Burns can keep him down. The problem with Algeo is he puts it on guys, but he doesn't put them on enough to get him out of there. He doesn't do anything crazy to warrant 10-8s or get finishes or things like that. So he does have to rely on getting the wins or getting the rounds to win. And I just don't know if he can do it here to lay -200. So I do think he can edge him out, but -200 on possibly a coin flip of him staying up on his feet for the second round. I don't know. Can't take a risk on that one. All right. Middleweight division. Long ambulance. Punahele Soriano. Nushan?
Yeah, I don't really have a good read on this fight. They both seem kind of flaky. Soriano as a big favorite that's ballsy to trust that guy at that number against really anybody. And I mean, Lung Ambulance probably can get some takedowns. I don't think he's got to worry about getting guillotined by Soriano, so that's a bonus in his side. I think Soriano probably wins. He might get taken out a bit early. That's just a wide number. No chance of parlaying that. I might even pick Lungiambulance and Toutmaster.
Brad?
Yeah, these guys both look like they should be a whole lot more dangerous than they actually are. A lot of Czech Congo syndrome going on here. I think I might actually side with the Lungiambulance in this one. Puna, I thought he was going to be a whole lot better than he actually is. He basically wings punches, and if they land against somebody that has no chin or no defense, he's going to do all right. And otherwise, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Not really much wrestling to speak of. And I think he's probably going to get out-muscled if this gets in tight against that. I still don't know how this dude makes 185, even as short as he is. But I was kind of looking at the overs in this spot. I don't think that both these guys seem to be durable. I don't think either one's going to get the other one out. As Sean said, there's not a lot of a sub threat from either side in this one. So over 1.5 is probably all right as a parlay piece. I'm looking more at the over 2.5, and Mason Book has fight goes decision at plus 170. I might take that just so I don't have to sweat out a greasy decision, because I see this being a sloppy split either way.
You guys pissed off Aaron. What'd you do that for?
I mean, to be fair, the
Puna's,
Hawaiians have had a pretty rough streak recently. So
Puna's not even a Hawaiian. Didn't he like grow up in Iowa or some shit like that, Aaron?
Anyway, I like Puna here. I still think Puna's the much better striker in this one. I think he's a little bit more technical. I know he does get a little bit wild. Pretty good power if he does connect. Lungiambulance sucks. He's not even that great in the first round, and then it's going downhill pretty quick from there. And I just think Puna's the all-around better fighter. I think outside of maybe wrestling, but I just can't see Lungiambulance taking him down and laying on him. That doesn't seem like something that's going to happen. I do think this is going to be on the feet. And I'll just take Puna, who I think is going to be a good bit faster and better on the feet. There's a chance he could catch them, but I could also see this just going to the decision. But I think the striking is just better for Puna, and he's going to win this one. So I might even put him in a parlay here. I don't mind the minus 240. I think it's fair. Lungiambulance sucks, man. He's terrible. This will be his last fight in the UFC. For sure. All right. Ricky Simón versus Jack Shore. You, Sean?
This should be an interesting fight. Like it's two grapplers going at it. I think I'm gonna side with the guy that I do think is gonna get more takedowns, and probably can hold a bit more top time. I've backed Jack Shore a bunch. I backed him last time against Valiev. I backed him a couple other times inside the distance. He is that Valiev fight. That's his best win, obviously. The guys he's fought, like I know he's had some bad luck with people pulling out and stuff like that. I don't think he's shown anything against a guy very good. Valiev is good, but I think this is a pretty big step up and in a interesting stylistic matchup because Simón's got a motor. He'll wrestle constantly for 15 minutes. I'll take that guy in a matchup that should be mostly grappling. So I haven't bet him yet, but I will be doing that very soon.
Aaron, Puna he got 7th in the D3. 7th, it looks like was his best finish in D3 wrestling. So I still got to give Lungiambulance with his black belt in judo, maybe a little bit of a.
The Valium fight really kind of changed my perspective of Jack Shore. Both good and bad. His striking was way better than I anticipated in that fight, but I did not think that he was going to struggle as much in the grappling as he ended up doing, and like kind of pulled that one out because he scored some knockdowns, and Valium always gets a little tired towards the end of fights. Against Ricky Simón, maybe he's got that Uriah Faber, he can knock him out early, But if this starts to turn into a grappling match, a wrestling match, I think Jack Shore's kind of in trouble. And he's a good grappler for a Welsh dude. We were kind of impressed with his wrestling and his grappling coming up through the regional scene and in his early fights in the UFC. But this is a completely different level of wrestling here. Ricky Simón is going to be all over him, and I don't think he's going to give Jack Shore room to show off that striking. I think it's going to be one guy getting a lot of takedowns, the other guy struggling to get up to his feet, and just sort of a typical Ricky Simón fight. The last couple, he's actually gotten finishes, which is kind of surprising from him because he's fought some bad guys. But this time around, I think it's just going to be, what we usually see, where he struggles to keep guys down early, and slowly throughout the fight, he gets more and more top control and sort of imposes his will a bit more, embraces the grind, if you will. So I like Ricky Simón in this spot. I like Ricky Simón by decision at plus 260 even more. That's going to be at least a unit for me, and we'll see how she goes. But American versus Brit in a grappling match, I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think you guys said it all here. Ricky Simón's not a guy who's going to go away from the game plan, test out his new and improved striking. His goal is to make this as boring as humanly possible, to be on top for the most amount. And we talked earlier about position over submission. This man's position. He is a position man. He wants to be on top. He doesn't care if he gets the finish. He can get finishes if he against bad guys. I don't know if Jack Shore is that guy, but we're going to have a grappling match here, and we're going to have a legit wrestler versus a guy from Europe. It's going to happen. And I think strength is a big one. I think, Jack Shore isn't known for his strength or anything like that. And Ricky Simón he's a strong fucking dude. Like, when you see these guys in the cage, it's not going to be close. And I think Simón's also the more technical wrestler here. So I think it's going to be a lot of takedowns, a lot of top control. Simón's actually hard to get up from as well. So I'm not sure how Shore's going to be able to get from some of those with the strength difference as well. So I love Ricky Simón here. I do not understand the line. I thought I would have made Simón like minus 200, honestly. Like, I thought this line was way, way, way off. But when this fight was announced, that's where I thought the line would be. So this will be the consensus bet of the week. Boom. Go Ricky, wrestlers.
Jack Shore has a definite athletic ceiling, and he is about to hit it this weekend.
I think I could beat him up. What do you think? He just looks like a guy I could shove in a locker. I don't know.
No muscles. No muscles at all.
These forearms, I don't see him having much of a D3 natty champ. He's just gonna. Aaron, you almost kill me when he said 7th is legit as fuck. Was Simón actually a D3? Where did he wrestle? I don't even know if he wrestled. Did he?
Look it up after. Well, we're breaking down the next fight.
He did not. He did not wrestle in college. So weird. All right, women's flyweight. Lauren Murphy, Miesha Tate. Let's go 10 seconds each.
I'll pick the dog in a shitty women's MMA fight.
Even if the dog's Lauren Murphy?
That is correct. I'm not going against it.
You should.
I've wasted too much.
You should. You should on this one. Brett?
Nope.
Miesha's not even going to make weight on this one. There's no way she's getting back down to 125 with those flotation devices.
She's going to look good at 125, though.
Jesus.
She's going to look good.
She does not want to be here anymore. Lauren Murphy is going to grind the shit out of her.
That's a good Dixon. This is an incredible matchup. Miesha mom quit versus Murphy grandma quit.
Grandmas are built different, Dixon. Grandmas are built different.
Totally. That's too good. Are you done, Brad? Is that it?
Yeah, Murphy.
Oh, you guys. I'm taking Miesha. Love Miesha here. I might even bet on this.
Oh my God.
I might.
Wow.
How is Miesha not going to take her down whenever the fuck she feels like it and do whatever the hell she wants?
Because
there you go. Magic said it.
Combat tits 1-3 since May. Big stuff there. But man, Lauren Murphy is one of the most untalented people I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. I probably won't bet this. I just want to say that because you guys picked Murphy. But I think Misha's gonna. I mean, how can Misha not out-grapple Lauren Murphy really, really easily? And it's not like if they're on the feet, Misha's dead. She's fighting Lauren Murphy. Like, there's no adversity here. Best case for Lauren Murphy is she lands a couple jabs and wins the decision. I like Misha here. I think Misha's can out-wrestle her. I think she can do whatever she wants here. So, not sure we'll be betting this yet. It depends how desperate I am. But I don't know. I think Misha's definitely gonna win this fight though. All right, featherweight division: Shane Burgos, Charles Jourdain. You, Sean.
Should be a fun one. Both these guys, they get hit a decent amount. So Burgos impressed me last time against Quarantillo. Jourdain, I think, is going to be in competitive fights, but lose against kind of the better guys that aren't ranked at this weight class. They're both tough. If I was to play this fight, I'd probably parlay the over 2.5. They've both shown just very good. I know you hated Lance, but this one I've been horrible betting totals lately, so I'm not gonna bet it. But they're both tough. I think Burgos is the better, more skilled fighter. I'll pick him, but no bet.
Bradley.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. I think Jourdain is the more diverse striker of the two, but Burgos obviously has the cleaner hands. I think he's got. I mean, it's tough to say this about Shane Burgos, but I think he's got a little bit better defense. Yeah.
Remember that time he died for a second?
Fun times.
He lived for 3 seconds and then died real bad.
That was the scariest shit I've ever seen in MMA. I think it's
that was.
And then when my two scariest moments in MMA are that and when John Jones let go of Lyoto Machida.
Just popped his dead body.
Dead person. Like he felt like I was like, oh my god, he literally murdered him in the cage. Lyoto is dead. The Machida era is over.
Forever.
It lasted so long.
Yeah, I kind of want to bet either guy to win this fight in round 3, because by round 3 they both are going to have absorbed so much damage, but they both have good cardio. And they're both going to keep throwing everything at the fucking wall in this one, that one of them is going to die before the final bell. So I'm looking at fight doesn't go, but more specifically, I'm looking at something in round 3, because I think there's going to be a late stoppage, and both of these guys have gotten and been stopped late in fights a bunch of times.
Yeah. All right. I like Burgos here. I'm not sure about the doesn't go. Yeah, they have been stopped, but when you look at Burgos getting stopped, he's getting stopped by elite strikers and really, really, really good strikers. And Jourdain has never been knocked out. And I can't see Burgos subbing him. So I know Jourdain gets hit and hurt sometimes, but like he's pretty tough. Like he kind of stays in there, and I don't see Burgos subbing him. Burgos could land something clean even early on. Burgos does have good hands, good power, but I see this kind of playing out like the Billy Q fight. I think Jourdain's going to offer a little bit here and there, but it's mostly going to be all Burgos. Faster hands. This fight's going to play on the feet. Jourdain's Canadian. So I thought gets him. I think we're getting a pretty fair price here on Shane Burgos. And Burgos to me has kind of let me down a bit. When he first came up and we saw him fight, I think everyone saw those hands and was like, yeah, like this guy's gonna be great. And I think every time he's taken a step up, he's kind of fallen back down a bit. But I don't think this is a step up from what he's been facing. And I think Burgos is gonna be all over him. Cleaner hands, better boxing. This fight's gonna take place in the feet. I think he's also the stronger guy if they get in any kind of clinch or anything situation. So I like Shane Burgos here to take care of Jourdain. All right, flyweight division. Matt Schnell, Sue Mudaerji, Nishan.
I'm not touching this fight. I don't think Schnell's gonna wrestle, and if this is on the feet, then Mudaerji is gonna probably fuck him up. It is a pretty wide line. Matt Schnell just shows like little glimpses, and you're just like, man, could this guy be good if he put shit together? It just seems like he never puts anything together. So I kind of expect Sue Mudaerji just to be able to stuff some takedowns if Schnell does decide to wrestle. And if it's on the feet, I think he's just going to volume up Schnell and maybe even crack that chin that is kind of sketchy sometimes. So I'll pick Mudaerji, but that is the line is a little wide.
Brad?
Yeah, there was a while there where I thought the old Schnell was gone for good, and he was just going to become this like point kickboxer. But I hope that Raw Dog choked that out of him, and he's back to being the exciting Schnell that's either going to get knocked out or going to sub somebody. And Sue Mudaerji, the striking it's good. It's not bad. He's got some power for a little fella. But he's got 4 losses against not good guys. All 4 losses are by submission. And Matt Schnell is by far the best fighter and the best submission artist that he's faced. So Mason must have been having a bad day with the Bitcoin, because he put up Schnell sub plus 1,000. He put up the sub round props, and if you equaled them all out, they added up to plus 1050. So his calculator was broken. He must have had to use the abacus or something and fucked up. So I'm on Schnell sub here. Doesn't matter when it happens. It comes out to about plus 1050 in this one. And I'm just hoping that he goes back to grappling, because, as Sean said, if he just sticks around on the feet in this one, probably not going to go great for him. The durability isn't great. The actual defense isn't great. And Mudaerji's a good long striker at flyweight. So, I'm taking Schnell here by sub. Not super confident, but if there is a path for him, that is most definitely the path.
Yeah, I like Schnell here a good bit. They haven't released on all the U.S. legal books. They haven't released any of the props yet for some reason.
Yeah, they're slow on this one.
Yeah, they're like DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, just all those. They don't have anything out yet. I saw 5 dimes is hanging plus 800 on Schnell sub, which that just seems absolutely insane to me. Even if I know the plus 1,000 is insane. To me, it's one of those fights like if Snell's going to win, he's probably going to be by sub. If he's plus 225, I would think sub would be max plus 400 in a fight like that. Like that's his path. Yep. If he's going to win, he's going to sub this guy. I don't think he's going to lay on him or anything like that. And I think if he gets him in a bad position, I think Schnell can get that finish. So I'm going to be putting Schnell. I'm looking at, I don't think he's going to get a knockout here. I can't see Schnell doing that. So I was kind of looking at maybe splitting between sub and money line just to kind of take care of my base. I do think he could possibly win a decision, but I think at the plus 800, man, that's a tempting one there, because I'm not as high on Sue as some. I'm actually higher on Schnell still than some. He's getting a little older, but if you look at the guys he's lost to, he's losing to all top 5 guys in the division pretty much. He's only losing to these top level guys. He's beating who he's supposed to. So, and I don't think he's at that washed level yet. Roy Val's a different kind of animal, and he's just good. So I like Schnell here, and I like him at the sub plus 800. That's impossible not to bet. So I'll be hitting that once it comes out. All right, welterweight division: Lee Jingliang, Muslim Salikhov. Nishan.
Yeah, it's a tough one as a fan of Jingliang. The last time out, I just wanted him to hit Chimaev at least once.
That was so bad, man.
It was so bad.
That was so bad. There was nothing good there. It was not good.
Nope.
That was, yeah, it was sad.
It wasn't completely unexpected, but
No.
it sucked.
But still.
It was pretty bad, though. I mean, Chimaev's good. I think we all can agree
Yeah.
on that at this point. But I feel like in Meerkat and Jingliang, they had no business stepping into that cage with those mindsets.
Yeah, not good. Could Muslim Salikhov out-grapple Jingliang? I do think it's possible, which is wild to think about. Yes, Salikhov is.
Dared you until he didn't. Oh, no, that wasn't Salikhov. That was what's his name?
No.
I'm confusing
Ankalaev.
There you go. There you go.
I'm confusing all the Russians. No, Salikhov's the guy that gets a decision every fight and does nothing on the feet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's for his style, it is very underwhelming. It turns out if you're beating guys in all over the world, it's a lot funner beating those lower level guys than coming to the UFC and fighting good guys, because that shit doesn't work as good. He's a very slow paced fighter, doesn't throw much volume. I do think he has probably a grappling advantage. Jingliang, he's got power. I have a tough time thinking he's gonna win a 3-round decision. And Salikhov has shown a granite chin, so I'm probably gonna have to pick Salikhov, but I'll hope that Jingliang knocks his ass out.
Brad?
So you've got an old spinny shit throwing Russian who, I know he got a couple takedowns against Grandpa Ronaldo, but he rocked him early, and you can't expect a grandpa to survive and fully recover from getting rocked early in a fight. I mean, he needs time to get the old stiff joints going. He needs to settle into his rhythm. He just never got that chance. So you got to throw that one out. The Eliza Dushku decision, awful.
Awful.
Robert, that's robbery. That's where we can say he did not deserve to win that fight. I don't even know who Laureano Starboy is, so who cares about that shit? I think that Jingliang's just gonna get in this dude's face, and I mean, it's easy to say that he's got absolutely no grappling because of what Chimaev did to him. He can defend a takedown a little bit. He can get back up to his feet. It's not like Salikhov's any sort of sub threat here. So I expect for Jingliang to make this a war, and he is going to throw so much more volume than Salikhov's going to throw in this fight that I think even with that granite chin, he's going to land a bunch of shots. He's going to make it very clear that he is winning the decision in this fight. So Lil Jingliang's back with some bangers. He's been in the booth. He's been working on stuff. The booth smells like Burberry, like Ludacris, and he's going to pull out a win here. So I'm on Lil Jingliang. Going to have a bet on him.
Yeah, I hope Jingliang wins, but this just feels like a boring Russian decision. He's not going to get knocked out. He's going to land a little bit more. He's going to circle a lot. He's going to stick and move. Might even work in a takedown here or there because it is versus Jingliang, so that can happen pretty easily. So I do think it's a boring Russian decision. I'm not going to bet on this fight. I think the line's right, and I'm just not going to touch this one. But I do see a boring decision. All right, I cannot believe this is the co-main event after all these fights we've talked about, but it is. Fucking Michelle Waterson versus Amanda Lemos. Unbelievable, this Michelle Waterson.
It's Amanda Lemos.
So
Lemos.
Waterson has been the main event in 3 of her last 4 fights. She's lost all of them. Yeah. Or no, she won was one. She's lost 3 of 4, and she's been in 3 of 4 main events. Imagine the UFC putting this chick on that many main events. I don't understand. It's not porn. There's no advantage there. I don't get it. Now that's no main event. Absolute just atrocity.
UFC has their stable of ladies that they think are popular and bring in viewers, and they push them no matter what, no matter how boring they are, no matter how many times they lose, and it's fucking brutal.
And now she's fighting at flyweight. She was too small for 115.
No, this is strawweight.
Are you sure?
No, I thought this was flyweight.
It's strawweight on Wikipedia and on UFC.
Oh, I thought it was because she went up to flyweight in her last fight. I thought she was staying there. She went back down? Why the fuck did she go up?
Was that Rodríguez fighted?
Yeah.
Flyweight?
It was flyweight.
Rodríguez is definitely a flyweight.
Yeah.
Well, that was pandemic shit. Who knows?
No, it wasn't. It was last year.
There you go.
Well, that was
Somebody that does more research than us says it's 115. So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Fair. Also, who cares? They should, hopefully one of them gets COVID.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I almost forgot that the Stroganoff or whatever her last name is fight got called off at the last minute, last card, and that was tremendous. That was the most exciting moment of the card.
Nunes Castillo.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was the move of the fight. That was wonderful. I saw that. And I was
Metro PCS, baby. Woo!
That's wonderful. I didn't know they
Love
still
it.
tested for COVID before fights until that fight was canceled. I did
Thank
not
God.
think that was a thing.
I'm glad.
They gave us a little nugget every once in a while. We got to cherish that.
They only test the women for COVID, so they canceled the fight. No one cared.
As for this fight,
got 5 seconds.
All right, I thought we'd get a cheaper number on Lemos after she lost very quickly, but they know better. She's gonna fuck up Waterson. Waterson is not good. She hasn't been good for a while. Lemos is a bit better. Price is a bit too high, but the pick is Lemos by decision. Plus 110, 105. 105.
Lemos sucks. She looked bad against the one good fighter she's faced. I
thought she looked good until she got choked out, standing choked out.
I mean, how long could she have looked good? It was like 2 minutes.
I thought she looked good until she got standing arm triangle in the first round.
I know. I laughed at myself that coming out of my mouth. Like, fuck.
She usually looks like kind of okay in the first round, I guess, but gasses, and she's old, and she hasn't fought anybody good other than the person that choked her out with a standing arm triangle in the first round. And Waterson, whatever. Aaron, are you related? Please tell me you're not related.
He wishes.
Yeah, he does. Well,
does he?
Second
That's
cousin.
for some weird like stepsister stuff, stepmom stuff.
Oh, I'm stuck in the washing machine. Aaron, help.
She always makes fights horrible because she's never closer than 15 feet from her opponent and key-eyeing at the air. So this is going to be a split decision. It's going to go 15 minutes. It's going to suck. I'm going to take Turk for a walk, and then I'm going to come back, and my Waterson decision plus 700 ticket is going to cash. So that's what's going to happen.
Check in for my condos at like 4 p.m. I think that's around when this fight's going to happen. So luckily, I think I'll be like carrying clothes up to the condo. So that would be good timing. I'll pick lame ass, but no. All right. By the way, fight. This is a good main event. I think this is a very solid,
great
fight night main event. Very happy with this. I'll watch both these guys fight all the time. Bryan Ortega, Yair Rodríguez. You, Sean.
Yeah, it should be a hell of a fight. I don't think I've ever bet Yair Rodríguez. So might as well break that cherry now.
God.
I've never thought Ortega was good. He early in his career, obviously he was pulling shit out, and that jiu-jitsu is ridiculous. Then he had that just insane performance against Korean Zombie, and everybody thought he was just unbelievable. And I mean, he did have flashes, very small flashes against Volkanovski, but I mean that's who he is. I think he's a unbelievable grappler that is able to grab things out of nowhere. he could do that in this fight. I think if this is going to be if this ends up being a prolonged striking match, then Rodríguez is just going to be a little bit better. He's the longer guy, more varied strikes. That's what he does. So I like Yair to win probably a decision. Ortega's obviously tough as hell. There is that chance that Ortega just pulls something out at a just crazy time. So I put 2 units on Rodríguez at plus 140. I did hedge it with Ortega's sub plus 300 for a half a unit. So if he pulls it out, props to him. I like Rodríguez on the feet here.
Brad?
I agree with a bit of what Sean's saying. Ortega, I still don't see him as a round winner. He's definitely a moment guy. But man, Yair Rodríguez is incredibly overrated. He got his ass beat by Max, and because he didn't get his ass beat by enough, people thought that it was some great performance and that suddenly he's a title challenger. And we saw how Max did, a couple weeks ago against Volkanovski. So I'm not sure how much weight that holds anymore. The Ortega performance against Korean Zombie, also overrated. Zombie, I think I said somewhere that he was the zombiest version of Zombie that we've ever seen after that spinning elbow hit. And he was just coasting through the rest of that fight, getting the shit kicked out of him. But we've seen time after time after time that Bryan Ortega will lose rounds and get beaten up a little bit and then pull something out of his ass. And I'm not even sure that he needs to lose the rounds to pull something out of his ass in this one, because Yair Rodríguez has never been able to grapple. I mean, probably the greatest bet in history was Frankie Edgar as a dog against Yair Rodríguez back in the day. Just incredible stuff. And since then, Jeremy Stephens has out-wrestled him. Going back further, like Max took him down 3 times, and Max doesn't take down anybody. So I think if Ortega tries to grapple in this fight, he will get takedowns. If he gets a takedown, I think he's going to find a sub. Honestly, even if Yair throws something stupid on the feet, he might slip and end up on his back, or Ortega might be able to hop on his back or whatever. USADA is off taking their summer vacation. We know that Ortega's done roids in the past, so he's probably on the good juice right now. It all adds up to Bryan Ortega grabbing a submission, whether it's in a scramble, whether he gets a takedown and works towards it. I took Ortega sub plus 470 on the early FanDuel opener. Long gone now, so I'm a fraud. But I'll take my fraud money and run in this one. I think the hedge against that is Yair by decision, because I don't think Yair is knocking Ortega out. We've seen Ortega go through all of the shit in so many fights. And I don't think Yair is better than the guys that he's faced before and have put it on him before. So Ortega sub is my actual bet, but if you're not feeling confident in that, or if you didn't get that good early number, Yair decision is probably not a terrible play.
Yeah, I like Ortega a good bit here. No one talks about Yair might be the most inactive fighter. I'm trying to think of someone he has. Take out the Jeremy Stephens eye poke fight. Yair has 4 fights in 5 years. 4 fights in 5 years. When you look at those fights, it was Frankie Edgar just absolutely murdering him. And then he lost 4.5 rounds to Korean Zombie. And then after that, he fought Jeremy Stephens, where he got dominated in the last round of that fight and got out-wrestled. And then he got beat up by Max Holloway. What is his best performance in those last 5 years? They're all bad. He has not had a good performance since he was facing BJ Penn was his last good performance. Does that count?
Yeah.
Is that good? This guy's not very good. I think he has a flair for the dramatic, which is on Korean Zombie. I think he's been a very marketable guy. he started off in his career, and he was kind of that hot prospect, and a lot of people liked him, and he got some, he got the couple big finishes, but he's not that good. Ortega is, I don't know, man. This guy's just a winner. He finds a way to win. He's tough as nails. He's not a guy you're going to get out there with one shot. And Yair's grappling is it's too bad. It is very bad. And to Brad's point, I don't think this is one of those Ortega's losing 4 minutes of a round, or he's down 2 rounds and he gets a third round finish. I think this is Ortega from the get. I think Ortega is going to strike him a little bit. I think when he gets uncomfortable with that, I think Ortega is going to be able to wrestle. When was the last time Ortega wrestled a guy or fought a guy he could take down? It's very rare. It's like Ortega has to wait until someone makes a mistake or slips on a kick or hits him with a punch. I think this one, Ortega's game plan could literally be like shoot takedowns. Like, I think he can do that. I think the sub prop, which Brad got, is obviously gone, but I was still seeing some, I think, plus 300s or something out there, which is not a bad price. But I think it's possible Ortega could win by knockout. I just don't see it happening. Yair is a tough fucking dude. He can take some punishment, but I feel like Ortega is eventually going to get something, get him to the ground, get a neck, and put this thing out of reach. So I like Ortega. Might have in a parlay, might play Ortega sub a little bit. I still got to finalize my bets, but I don't see this thing as competitive at all. I think the line's pretty far off here. Sorry, Sean.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Rodríguez. What are you? This is where you do it? This is the fight?
It's not been terrible being on the opposite side of you lately.
It's very true. I'm just sticking to the golf guns. It's making up for everything. No matter how bad MMA and other stuff is, the golf is just bailing it out. It's a bailout all the time. It's tremendous. But that'll do it for this week. Good timing. We hour 20 minutes. That was phenomenal. So it's Wes's fault that we usually take a long time, apparently. So we appreciate you guys listening. Everyone enjoy the fights this weekend. They will be back next week for UFC London. I will be on vacation, so I will not be joining. I'll be in Hilton Head, so I'm not going to do it. You can play a lot of golf, pool, beach, that kind of stuff. Yay. The Opens this weekend. Also, everyone enjoy the Open. 150th Open at St. Andrews. Tremendous. And we'll see you guys next week.